Welcome to the Alvin ISD informational video on AISD's Extracurricular Code of Conduct 2015-2016. Student participation in extracurricular activities is encouraged. The Alvin ISD makes extracurricular activities available as an extension of the regular school program. With this important difference, participation in the regular curriculum is a right afforded to each student, while participation in the extracurricular program is a privilege that carries additional expectations for acceptable conduct. Students engaging in extracurricular activities represent not only themselves, but also other students and the school district when performing, competing, or participating in any extracurricular activities, and while wearing uniforms or other items that identify the student to the community or the public in any setting as Alvin ISD students. Their representation of the organization goes beyond participation in activities, and for this reason, their behavior must be exemplary and reflect the finest attributes of the total Alvin ISD student body at all times and places. Important goals of the extracurricular program are to give students direction in developing self-discipline, responsibility, pride, loyalty, leadership, teamwork, respect for authority, and healthy living habits. Because participation in extracurricular activities is a privilege and not a right, Alvin ISD is authorized to set higher standards for participants in extracurricular activities than it would for those students who choose not to participate in these activities. Therefore, this extracurricular code of conduct extends beyond the Alvin ISD Student Code of Conduct and beyond the organization's bylaws and constitutions, not only in types of behavior prohibited, but also in corresponding consequences and jurisdiction for imposing discipline. Each organization shall abide by its individual constitution and bylaws. If a serious infraction of the extracurricular code of conduct occurs, the consequences noted in the extracurricular code of conduct shall apply. The extracurricular code of conduct will not supersede the state or national constitution. This extracurricular code of conduct will be enforced with respect to all students in grades 6 through 12 participating in extracurricular activities, regardless of whether the school is in session, regardless of whether the student is involved in the extracurricular activity at the time the prohibited conduct occurs, regardless of whether the extracurricular activity is in season, and regardless of when or where the conduct occurs. It is possible that a student who violates the AISD Extracurricular Code of Conduct will incur consequences from both the appropriate school administrator and from his or her coach or sponsor for the same particular violation. It is also possible that a student participating in extracurricular activities could violate the AISD Extracurricular Code of Conduct and be subject to discipline by a coach or sponsor without having violated the AISD Student Code of Conduct. The philosophy of AISD extracurricular activities. School-sponsored extracurricular activities and organizations are meant to serve as avenues for leadership development or practice in using skills, attitudes, and knowledge that will help students prepare for a post-secondary experience. The goal is to contribute to the development of well-rounded citizens. An extracurricular activity is an activity sponsored by the UIL, the Board of Trustees, or an organization sanctioned by board resolution. The activity is not necessarily directly related to instruction of the essential knowledge and skills, but may have an indirect relation to some areas of the curriculum. Extracurricular activities include, but are not limited to, public performances, contests, demonstrations, displays, and club activities. In addition, an activity is subject to this policy if any one of the following criteria apply. The activity is competitive. The activity is held in conjunction with another activity that is considered extracurricular. The activity is held on or off campus, or the general public is invited. Teacher, as it is used in this extracurricular code of conduct, includes coaches, activity organization sponsors, directors, and other district staff who are responsible for overseeing an extracurricular activity or organization. Extracurricular rules of conduct. As representatives of AISD, students in grades 6 through 12 who participate in extracurricular activities are expected to demonstrate exemplary behavior and dedication, whether at school or away. before a student is suspended or removed from participation in an extracurricular activity, and before any other consequences imposed for behaviors as provided in this extracurricular code of conduct, the teacher shall document the alleged infraction and a reasonable investigation shall occur. Consequences imposed under this extracurricular code of conduct may be appealed to the campus principal and then to the superintendent or his designee, whose decision shall be final. A student who is involved in a serious offense as defined in the AISD Code of Student Conduct is subject to disciplinary consequences in accordance with the AISD Student Code of Conduct and may also receive consequences or experience loss of privileges in extracurricular activities in which the student is involved. A student who is placed in ISS or OSS twice during the semester shall lose the privilege of participating in all extracurricular activities for the remainder of the semester. Placement in Disciplinary Alternative Education Program, or expulsion to JJAEP, shall result in removal from all extracurricular programs for the duration of the placement and for 6 weeks from the date of return to their home campus. A student in grades 6 through 12 shall lose the privilege of participation in extracurricular activities during any period of deferred adjudication, probation, while under indictment for a felony, or while awaiting final determination of guilt or innocence in connection with either a felony or any offense punishable as a Class A misdemeanor, whether the felony or offense was committed on or off campus. Conduct prohibited under the AISD Extracurricular Code of Conduct includes possessing or drinking alcoholic beverages illegally, possessing or consuming illegal drugs, or possessing or using any form of drug paraphernalia. Knowingly attending or remaining at any activity where illegal alcohol consumption is occurring and or where illegal drugs are present or being used. Knowingly attending or remaining at any activity where prescription or non-prescription drugs are being misused or where other mood-altering substances are present or being used, and or engaging in bullying or hazing, whether in person or via any electronic format, as those terms are defined in AISD Board Policy and the AISD Student Code of Conduct. Engaging in lewd or vulgar behavior. Engaging in sexting, the inappropriate use of electronic communication or the distribution of lewd materials. The penalty for a first offense is suspension from all extracurricular activities for 15 school days. Other penalties, including the loss of office, elected or appointed, will also apply. The penalty for a second offense is suspension from all extracurricular activities for 1 calendar year. Other penalties, including the loss of office, elected or appointed, will also apply. The penalty for a third offense is suspension from all extracurricular activities for the remainder of the student's attendance in AISD. This concludes the AISD informational video on the Extracurricular Code of Conduct. Please fill out the form on the page below the video to confirm your receipt of this important information. And thanks for watching.